outside and it's heaps windy today, but yeah, I've had requests for a long time to do an update on my bonsai. I gotta warn you though, and you can see some behind me, a combination of recurring depression and being pretty much a professional student and therefore not having a lot of time means that I haven't really taken good care of them. And you know, my mum, who also did classes with me, is kind of just a maintenance mode sort of person. So they've been watered but not really looked after. Occasionally I trim them, but a lot of them need repotting and it's a bit of a disaster. So yeah, and there's a lot that died too. Anyway, let me show you the bonsai, and please don't judge me too much. Ta-da! Here's our bonsai corner! Alright, it's kind of difficult to show you them well because like there's not a good background and you know, the camera works differently to your eye, but let's do our best. This is a Chinese elm twin tree sort of setting, and you can see they're starting to get a lot of little green buds again. I mean, it's winter in Australia at the moment, but yeah, and it's a mess. As you can see, the little tree's probably a little bit scragglier than the other one. So that's that one. Next to it we've got a, I think it's Moreton Bay fig, one of those Australian figs, sort of forest setting. That's one of Mum's. Yeah, not so well looked after. None of them are really well looked after. Here's a dead Chinese elm, root over rock, and a while ago a branch fell on it and dislodged it, and it's sort of been on and off since then. Come back to life a few times, but I think this time it's actually dead, and it was always a weird design, but the main branch broke a few years ago, so that's why it's got this ugly one just sticking straight up. It used to have this wonderful curve, but that's gone. Then we've got two, I think those are junipers, cascades. One of them's Mum's and one of them's mine, but I don't remember which. Oh, it's really hard to get you the angle on that. I think it comes all the way down there. Yeah, they're a bit of a mess, but maybe not as bad. I really need to get rid of some of the dead bits, and then, you know, once a branch, like, see, once the branch gets a bit more developed, you need to pull off those little spines, and it's like the worst task ever. You need gloves or you're going to feel prickly for days, and even with gloves it's really time consuming and annoying, so that's why I haven't really done that, especially in winter. Sitting outdoors for long enough to do it, you get freaking cold. Here's one I did for uni actually. It's a weird little root over rock. I think it's Moreton Bay fig again. Most of the figs are Moreton Bay, but there's another one that looks similar and I can never remember which one it is. So yeah, the weird thing about this, okay, you see these little red bits? That's actually, and there's like a little black bit in there, so I actually made the rock out of Fimo. And I went on Quora, or however you say it, just to ask other bonsai people, like, is it possible to plant a tree on a rock made out of Fimo? And everyone's like, why would you do that? That's terrible. But it's for a weird art thing, and look, it works. And this one has actually survived quite well. The other one that I did, what, that used to be a different kind of fig. Something like ruby something, I don't know. And yeah, it was doing well, but then it got all these little, what were they? Scale bugs, I think, and I didn't catch it in time and it died, and I tried cutting back, but no, it was dead before I even found it, so RIP. I'm gonna change the tree though and keep the rock. You can see under here, yeah, sort of this weird black and red Fimo thing. So when one of my cuttings is looking alright and I can be bothered, I'll you know, rescue as much of this moss as I can, which this one's actually a bit dry, but I'll rescue as much of the moss as I can and then plant another tree over the top. It'll just have to be one with long roots, and you know, you've got to take care of it. And maybe the design of this rock wasn't as good either, because you know, I had to think about drainage and how they actually sit and cling to the rock. And yeah, I can't show you right now, but there were two different designs and this might have been the shit one. I'm not sure. I think the other one was a bit more complicated and maybe I did a better job. But I don't know, it could just be the scale bugs and neglect that killed that one. Anyway, moving back across this back line, here's a really sort of terrible money tree. Is it Chinese jade? And like, I don't know what our plan was for this one, but Like it's getting way too tall and there's nothing happening down here except this little sucker. So I might actually be quite brutal to that one and just like cut it here and hope something sprouts down the bottom, and then maybe we can shape it. But yeah, it's pretty ugly. So with the Moreton Bay figs, one of them is the one that I did in my Bonsai Basics video from like, oh shit, more than 10 years ago. I did the Bonsai Basics one when I was in high school, and then, you know, I didn't have YouTube back then, so a few years back I uploaded it, and you can see me when I'm younger. Yeah, so you got, like, a lot of them have this moss on the bottom. One of the branches on this one's dead. I don't know if this is the one in the video. One of those sort of, yeah, and they're just a mess. I really need to trim back. And I mean, I think maybe I was trying to let some of them grow tall because, like, I'm not a horticulturalist, but one of my teachers was like, if you let it grow tall, it'll get thicker. But I'm not 100% convinced because I've been letting a lot of them grow and they don't look that much thicker. So maybe I should go more for shape rather than trying to thicken them up. And maybe just cut them smaller and then it'll just give the illusion of being thicker. Anyway, this is the sort of twin trunk one. I'm really sorry about all the angles. But you can see we've got this one sort of going up here, and then this one sort of going up to here. This one's had a bit of wars, like there was one branch somewhere that died, but it was only half cut off and I managed to save it as a cutting, so one of the figs might have come from that cutting, I don't know. Yeah, not a whole lot to see. Like, they're really tall and the leaves are on the ends and that's not good. I need more like branches to sprout down the bottom and make it look more like a tree. Coming across here, this might be one of my oldest. I don't remember. Oh, actually no, that's probably one I did myself. I think my oldest one died like ages ago. My oldest bonsai I got when I started in about, oh, was it 2003 when I started bonsai? Like in school. My grandma took me to some class somewhere. It's the same species, but yeah, there's not a whole lot exciting stuff going down there. You can see I couldn't be bothered to wire it, so I've just put these things on to try and get some of the branches into shape. I think I've got to choose one of these to become there. Probably that one. I don't know, some things have gotten a bit ugly about it. Here's another one where I've been lazy with wiring. Oh my god, I'm fighting with a maple. Sorry about that. So yeah, another fig, sort of badly. It really needs a branch coming off here so that you get the 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing, but yeah, unfortunately I think there maybe was one and it died. I should probably just make this shorter, this tree. And yeah, you can see with some of the figs, the roots get a bit crazy, so like that root down there was from one of these figs because they shoot off aerial roots, and yeah. Next to it's another fig. Was this one from a cutting? I don't know. And it's got, like, it's just got no design to it. I think we just planted it and we're like, hey, there you go, a bonsai. It's in a little pot. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. I think that really might have been one of the cuttings. Because yeah, it just looks really dumb. Oh look, there's a dead branch. Let's get rid of that. And then we've got one more fig on this back row, which is just a weird little ugly thing. Oh, with this weed. Get rid of all the weeds. Let's chuck that in my weed pile, huh? So yeah, what's going on with this one? I don't know. It's got like all these branches coming out from one spot, and I'm not aware of many styles that would be accepting of that. They're like maybe the broom tree style. Otherwise it's just an ugly plant, really. I don't know if it deserves to be called a bonsai. I'm not sure how I'm going to shape it. I probably need to cut it back heavily and just let more branches grow and hope something grows in the right spot. Alright, coming forward a bit. Oh, it's sort of a forest setting, I guess, but like with Chinese jade, money trees in the back, this massive thing needs to be cut. Like, look at that. That's just ugly. I have to get so far back for you to see how terrible that is. Yeah. these money trees just like grow forever. And they're relatively easy to control, like which direction they grow if you can be bothered. And then down here we've got some azaleas, and I'm kind of surprised they survived. That long branch needs to be cut. And they do flower sometimes. I mean, they're probably going to need some fertilizer to flower this year. But yeah, they're doing alright. They just need some shaping, really. Now here we've got that maple I was fighting with. It's in winter mode, so I'm hoping it's not dead. That's one of the problems with you know, trees that lose their leaves. I always freak out because I'm like, I don't know if this is going to come back to life when the weather's warmer. So yeah, I think it's, I mean, this is one of the newer ones that I did, or maybe I repotted it in the summer, I'm not sure. Yeah, relatively new. I got it last year and then just saved it until the summer to repot. So yeah, there's nothing going on with shape. It's too young for that, and I really do hope it comes back to life. Over here's another money tree, you know, like the twin trunk kind of thing, but sort of ugly. So yeah, a lot of ugly plants. Here's a little mini one. It dried out. I'm hoping it's not dead. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it for the next few days and make sure it gets enough water. But it's kind of adorable if it does survive. Yeah, I purposefully potted it a little bit higher so that you could see this weird root structure. I don't like following a lot of the traditional bonsai stuff, you can probably tell, because I think it's interesting to have weird shit going on. But yeah, it's not doing too well at the moment. So I hope it pulls through, but I may just have to accept it's dead. I think this is another one I repotted in the summer. Yeah, and I did have wiring, so I don't know if you can see how wiggly that one is. That's a result of wiring. And then one of them that I did wire, it started to strangle the branch, so I took it off, but in the process I accidentally snapped the branch and it died. So yeah, it used to have a better shape and I ruined it. Oh well, we'll see if it comes back to life. So cross fingers for that one. Then down the front here, we've got some of the weird shit that I did for, so here's that weed that I pulled out. I might try and put it in one of these. I did this sort of post-apocalyptic art project last year, and so I'm like trying to imagine when we're all dead, you know, tea party at the end of the world. I think on my Patreon page or on my website you can see that, and on Instagram I think I've posted a picture. Oh, that weed came with me. So yeah, I had 3 of them, and one of my patrons now owns one of these, although I think he's moved overseas, so I don't know what's happened to it. Yeah, that's the little weeds in a cup. So it's like we're all dead, and the plants are taking over our cities. So it's not really a bonsai, it's just a weird artsy thing, and I did it with these skulls. I think I need to clean this one up because I think it's not doing so well. It needs a bit of fresh water and probably a bead of fertilizer and whatever. Yeah, if you can imagine like Chernobyl or something, where people just abandoned the things they were doing and then plants grow up in their houses and whatever. That's sort of the idea of this, because I was getting really into the post-apocalyptic thing. I think around the time that I made it was when Trump first started saying dumb stuff to Kim Jong-un, so yeah, that was on my mind at the time. Here we've got a bunch of cuttings, so there's some azaleas that have survived. I did a lot of these about a year ago, and they're still going well, so you know, at some point I should try and pot them up a bit more and give them a chance to grow, and maybe they can eventually become bonsai. Yeah, that one I think someone gave me. And then these are like cuttings from the garden. So like weird Australian plants. A Chinese elm, and that one's starting to get little sprouts as well, so that's cute. More, what I think they might be lily pillies. I've never done a lily pilly bonsai, so that could be interesting. Some skulls where the plants died, which is a shame, but whatever. Oh, here's another sort of mini forest of Chinese jade, and needs trimming. Oh, and the dead thing, and that's my bonsai collection. That's an update. So they're all in bad shape. If there's one I've showed you before and it's not here, then it's dead. So the Australian natives, the only one that would have survived is the fig, the Moreton Bay fig, because those are hardy. Like if you kill a Moreton Bay fig, you are doing something seriously wrong. Whereas the other ones, was it a grevillea, and what was the other one I did? I forget. Those are the native bonsai. You need to take good care of them, and I didn't. Like, that was more than 10 years ago. I've had so many episodes of depression and so much university study and other things taking my time, and, you know, focusing on music rather than plants. So yeah, a lot of stuff has died. I'm really sorry if that disappoints you, because, you know, I'm a beginner, and none of my bonsai are those fancy nice ones. Like, probably the most impressive ones I have are the cascades. They look the most traditional. The rest are very young looking, and very dodgy and poorly trimmed and whatever. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do to make most of them better. I just, you know, haven't done it. So yeah, that's an update. I guess I could film myself trying to do some repotting and trimming and stuff if that interests you. So leave me comments. If you want to see a specific one. I can't guarantee though, because it depends on the weather, and if it's too cold I don't want to be outside. But yeah, while I've got time, why not? Tell me what you want to see with the bonsai. And maybe we can watch them grow together. And maybe you will motivate me to actually get them into some kind of shape. Anyway, that's all for now. Were you confused about what I was doing outside? Hey, he was watching me through the window. What are you doing, Mum? Why are you talking to the plants? Hey? I'm sorry, Hopi. Do you want to play? Yeah, not really. He's still a bit embarrassed. Why are you shoving a camera in my face, Mum? What are we doing? Bye. You want it?